Good evening, and thank you for joining us tonight for our Village of Alsip board meeting. Today's February 7th, 2022, and we'll call this meeting order at 7:31. Can you call the roll, please?
Trustee Delzo?
Here.
Trustee Juarez? Here. Trustee McLaughlin? Here. Trustee Murphy?
Here.
Trustee Nava-Esparza? Here. Trustee Peretta?
Here.
Mayor Ryan?
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. We'll start with officers' reports, starting with mine. I didn't have anything on the agenda, but I did want to mention that I was on a couple of Zoom calls today with different organizations, and I want to just remind everyone that this week, I think they're doing a virtual, our state legislators are doing a virtual session, but we are reminding, in other words, when I say we, meaning I was on with the Southborough mayors and managers, we are reminding our state legislators to support the legislation introduced in this session, which will increase the local share of the LGDF to 8%. So that's our local government distribution fund. It used to be, a few years back, we were at 10%, is what the state used to allocate to the villages, and that was reduced down to 5%. And I think overall, it was over a $200,000 reduction that we had to our community, somewhere maybe like 210. So we're hoping, like, let's put it this way, State Representative Anthony DeLuca is sponsoring the bill, and he's asking for at least an 8%, in other words, increase it by 3% from where we're at right now, as opposed to going right back to the 10%. We know in many negotiations, you got to meet people halfway. Excuse me. So far, 21 senators and 40 state representatives have agreed to sign on. Our Council of Government is hoping to have at least the equivalent of a simple majority in each chamber, so they're looking for 30 in the Senate, 60 in the House. This would demonstrate to the governor and the Democratic and Republican legislative leadership that a majority of the General Assembly supports increasing the local share. With that many co-sponsors, it would make it difficult for the governor to avoid the issue when budget negotiations take place. We appreciate, and they also said they appreciate the assistance the region's mayors have provided to get at least 21 senators and 40 state representatives on board thus far. They really could use all hands on deck to help them, again, reach the simple majority in each chamber. So they're looking for 9 more senators to sign on and 20 more state reps. And I just want to let everybody know, in our area, the senators, Bill Cunningham is on board, as well as Senator Mike Hastings and Napoleon Harris. In the House, in the south area near us, is Anthony DeLuca, Speaker Chris Welch, State Rep Bob Rita, Debbie Myers-Martin, Nicholas Smith, Marcus Evans, Will Davis, Tim Ozinga, Fran Hurley, and Kelly Burke are all on board. So, and thank you for their support of that. Next, I did reach out to Next Site, the organization we onboarded for economic development, and they will do a Zoom at our next week committee meeting. So he's anxious to share their report with us on that. Also today, always just want to share. We got an email, and Dan, did you get my response back to the resident earlier? Just want to share with the board. I got an email today from a resident, and she said, "Dear Mayor Ryan, I'm a longtime Alsip resident, and I'm contacting you to formally commend Mr. Dan Triben of the Alsip Water Commissioner. Recently, my tap water tasted and smelled unpleasant for several days. Fearing that the cause might be water quality, I contacted Mr. Triben. He came to my house the next day, took a water sample, and told me he would contact me and go over the test results when they were completed. True to his word, Mr. Triben sent me the test results and called me last Friday evening after hours and patiently went over a full report which indicated my water quality was fine. I feel you should know Mr. Triben provided outstanding customer service and support well beyond expectations, and is an asset to the Village of Alsip. Sincerely, Carol Dower. So thanks, Dan, for taking care of that, and just wanted to share it with the board. We always like when the residents recognize the hard work you guys do. Next week, board, I'm going to ask our new property manager over at the Heritage Apartments from HRE Management to discuss with the board. He wanted to discuss, which is part of his contract we have with him, is Heritage Rents, and has nothing to do with current residents or anything like that, but new residents coming in. He wanted to just provide a report, just say what the market is, and where the board, we're just going to look for a consensus on what the board feels comfortable with as far as rents. Do we want to increase them? Do we want to leave them alone? Whatever we want to do with them, just for new leases. And then on last Friday, Cook County provided KN95 masks to all the south suburbs in Cook County, and we were allocated 1,000 KN95 masks. Superintendent Frater has them over at Public Works. We're going to bring them over tomorrow, and we'll come up with a plan to distribute those masks then, too. So working on that, and we'll talk about that tomorrow, then, too. And that's all I have for my report this evening. Clerk's report?
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, I just wanted to, a little request for the trustees and everybody. Our clerk's office is very short-staffed right now, so when you are doing requests on your agendas, or, I know things happen last minute, and that's unavoidable, but if we can get those in as soon as possible, it's just Erica and Brittany in there right now. So it is a lot on Brittany when things come in late, or if things aren't approved to get on the agenda from one of the department heads. If we can just check our emails a little more frequently till we can get somebody hired in there, just because they are kind of scrambling around, very busy right now, we would just appreciate it. So that's just
Madam Clerk, just jumping in on that, one of the things that we talked about is for board meetings specifically, that basically nothing should be added to the agenda unless it was discussed at committee and or is specifically approved by the head trustee. Would that make the clerk's life easier?
That would make it very much easier for them right now, especially, yes. Thank you. Okay, so my report, I have the approval of the January 17th, 2022 board meeting minutes, the approval of the December 2021 motor fuel allotment in the amount of $71,684.71. I have the presentation and approval of the January 31st, 2022 committee meeting minutes, and a discussion about early voting at Village Hall this year. Erica received an email to see if we are interested in hosting early voting again. It looks like it's going to be June 13th through June 27th. The first week, June 13th through the 18th, it is Monday through Sunday. The second week, it is also Monday through Sunday, but their hours vary a little bit on Saturday and Sunday. Everything was emailed out. So I'm just looking for your thoughts if you guys want to do this year. If so, Erica said she would get all this submitted, but just want to get your thoughts and opinions on if we want to do this again this year.
Like, that's prime vehicle sticker time.
Yeah.
I would say yes. I said yes last time.
What kind of staff do we need for that here?
They are providing everything, it looks like. They bring, where did I see it? A judge will arrive before the voting starts. They bring everything in that they need to set up in that room. We don't have to provide staff for it. We just have to provide a room for it.
We certainly need somebody to lock the doors.
Well, yeah, and whoever in the clerk's office, and it looks like Monday through Saturday is 9 to 5, and then Sunday is 10 to 4, and it looks like it's the same the following week. So yeah, Mondays, obviously, we're here late. That wouldn't be an issue, but yeah, it would need, on Saturday and Sunday especially, somebody would need to unlock and lock that door.
And I think the concern before was that would fall upon the police department, who can't guarantee personnel. Has anything changed, Chief?
No.
So is everyone else against it, or yes for it?
I'm for it also.
I'm not.
It's the week of the 13th through the 27th?
Yes,
The entire 2 weeks, every day.
correct.
Are you asking for a consensus on that?
Yeah, we just need to get this out, so if everyone can just let me know if you are for or against it. So if we are, we need to get it out to them as soon as possible so they can set us up, because there's already villages set up to do it. There's about 7 right now, so they need to get us on the list if we are going to do it.
Why don't you take a consensus call then?
But it's hard to sit there and say, I'm for the idea, but what about the logistics? So how do we facilitate this request? That's all I'm concerned about. If we've got
How did they
the
do it last
mechanism
time? I mean,
in
I know it
place-
was here, but I wasn't.
Yeah, we didn't do it last season.
But I think that was more COVID aspect.
That was.
But, well, no, we did do it last time.
I was just say, I think I
Time
came
before
here
that.
to vote early.
Okay, I'm a little fuzzy. I know one season we didn't, but,
Yes.
No, but the last mayoral election, there was early voting here.
okay.
I was in the building when Sue Petzel came in and unlocked the door on Saturday and Sunday, and locked the door.
I mean, I have no problem doing that if you guys give the okay to have the early voting. I can get the keys, I can unlock it, lock it. I mean, I have no problem doing that.
That's fine.
Okay, so let's just take a quick consensus. Yes or no for hosting the early voting here. Trustee Dalzell?
Yes.
Trustee Juarez?
Yes.
Trustee McGlover?
No.
Trustee Murphy?
Yes.
Trustee Navas-Esparza?
Yes.
Trustee Peretta?
Yes.
All right, so we have the consensus. I will let Erica know, and like I said, I'll be responsible to open and lock the doors on the late days and Saturday and Sunday.
I'll certainly work with you on it.
Okay.
If you need my help, I'm
Okay,
happy
thank
to
you.
help. Okay. I was certainly in favor of that.
Okay. And that is all I had, Mayor.
Okay. Actually, we have the attorney's report. We have Joe Kankar with us.
I have no report, Your Honor.
Okay. And thank you. And then we'll go to the engineer's report. Will Dolan?
Thank you, Mayor. Just to report on the construction side, we just have the Chapel Hill sewer lining going on right now. I also met with Mike and Dan this past Friday to go over some grant applications and some other projects for the year. We will be submitting Invest in Cook and CDBG grants through Cook County and STPL grants through CMAP.
I was on a Zoom call. Were you on that call today at all, Will? Did you go on those? Okay. I was on one this morning with County Commissioner Donna Miller. Excuse me. And anyway, they were talking about some of the grants coming up, and I was on that all-day call Friday with readiness for the ARPA monies and so forth then, too. But, yeah, the call today, they were talking about the CDBG grants. And one of the things, this afternoon I was on a call with South Suburban mayors and managers, and they were just reminding everybody, did we get a capital bill submittal? Did we submit? That's what I thought. Okay. Because they were just reaching out to any towns that didn't submit, because they want to have those at the downstate for consideration, too. And I was almost positive we had submitted ours and stuff, then, too. Okay. Well, thanks, Will, because obviously we're big on grants all the time, every opportunity we can get here, and yeah, too. Anything else?
Nope, that's it.
Okay, thanks, Will. And then we have the public forum. Did anyone in the audience wish to address the board this evening? Nobody? We'll go to our standing committee reports. First is Finance and IT, Trustee McGlowan.
First, I have a request for approval of a list of payroll dated January 28th, 2022, totaling $392,696.14. Next, I have a request for approval of a list of accounts payable dated February 7th, 2022. From the recap, General Fund, $111,682.64. Road and Bridge, $39,276.46. MFT, $10,337.42. Pulaski Road Corridor TIF, $104 even. Liability and workers' comp insurance, $37,779 even. Health insurance, $286,726.46. IMRF, $33,076.26. Water and sewer, $34,323.55. Sanitary sewers, $5,515.65. Heritage, $192,138.51. And retiree health insurance, $102,720.95, for a grand total all funds of $853,680.90. Next, I have a request for approval of a resolution approving the declaration and disbursement of surplus monies in the Tax Increment Financing District Number 1. Next is a approval of a resolution designating certain officers as principals, signers, and traders for the Illinois funds accounts held by the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois. And finally, I have a request for approval of a Comcast settlement for franchise fee underpayments in the amount of $12,794.69. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we have the Fire Committee report. Trustee Murphy.
I have the presentation and approval of the January 2022 National Fire Incident Reporting System Monthly Activity Report. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right. Thank you. Next, the Police and Traffic Safety. Trustee Dalzell.
Request the approval of an agreement between the Village of Alsip, the Metropolitan Alliance of Police, the Alsip Police Chapter 669, with an effective date of May 1st, 2021 through April 30th of 2025. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we have the Public Work and Boat Launch. Trustee Juarez.
I have an approval to go out to bid for parkway tree removals to remove approximately 90 trees, which will include removal and stump grinding. And I also have an approval to post for hiring part-time maintenance employees in Public Works. And as always, thank you, Mike, to you and your crew for working on the snow, doing such a great job.
Even down a plow.
That's all, Mayor.
Thank you. Mike, I agree. I mean, I was at a local men's club meeting the other day, and everybody was really praising your guys. Did a nice job and everything, too. What you call it? With the tree removals, Mike, are we, when you and I took a ride around town a couple months ago to look at some of those trees and stuff then, too, are we going to try and do what we can, focus a little bit on Lee Street? Remember we were looking at those short parkways?
Some have been identified over there to be removed. Majority of them, again, as in the report, are deemed hazardous.
Yeah.
Come down, so we're looking to get those removed first.
That'd be great. Like you and I talked about, I might have mentioned to the board too, Lee Street has got the shortest parkways ever, and the trees have outgrown the parkway, and they're snapping sidewalks, they're snapping curbs and everything else, so the whole thing's got to get redone. But
We can get another phase for removals.
okay. Yeah, Trustee McGlower and I met with those folks over there, and totally I understand what they were talking about. I understand the intent when they put the trees in, but I don't think anybody expected them to grow the way they did yet, too, so thank you. Next, the Sewer and Water Report. Trustee Nava-Esparza.
Thank you. I have a request for the approval to post and fill an open full-time operator 2 driver laborer position within the water department. That's all I have.
All right, thank you. Building and Health. Trustee Peretta.
Thank you, Mayor. First, I have an request for approval for Sertoma Center's Super Sale fundraiser to be held on Saturday, April 2nd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Sunday, April 3rd from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. The event will be held at their facility located at 4100 West 127th Street. Second, I have a presentation and approval of the Health Department January 2022 monthly activity report. In that report, there were 21 complaints, 8 inspections, 7 citations, and 0 call-outs. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, Human Resource and Insurance. Trustee Murphy.
No report tonight, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Then we'll go to our special committee reports. Economic Development, trustee Nava Esparza.
I have no report this evening, Mayor.
Okay. I think, Roger, we've been just slowly, they're still working on the firewater property, but I know with the weather, it's been slowing them down. How are we doing over at Gas and Wash? How's that going?
Gas and Wash is moving along very well. They are on target, they hit their date, and we've got a few other ones that you and I will have to sit down with some business owners that have contacted me on Friday and today to sit down because they're looking at doing more expansions.
Oh, really? That's great. Okay. Roger wasn't on mic. What he was saying was we got a few other local businesses looking to expand. We're going to be meeting with them, and the Gas and Wash is going along real well right now, too. Thanks, Roger. Next, we have Village Properties. Trustee McLaughlin.
Under Village Properties, we have a request for approval of Total Automation Concept, our present building automation system that controls the HVAC systems, and it is proposed to upgrade to a 5-year contract covering all village assets. That's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, ordinance legislation, trustee Peretta.
Thank you, Mayor. I have spoke to the mayor and our village attorney. I'm going to have to pull letter O, and the reason is part of that property, that's the Whittingham Meats property, part of that property is unincorporated Cook County, and we need to get the annexation completed before we proceed, and we will continue with after further notice. So
Exactly. I almost called Joe trustee again.
Yeah.
Attorney Joe Hagar is working on it for us right now.
very good. Okay. Yes. Second, I have a request for approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving Class 6B assessment status for the real estate located at 5859 West 117th Place, PIN number 2420404-003, quadruple 0, and PIN number 2420404-004, quadruple 0, in the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois. At this property, a substantial amount of capital is necessary to cure the defects in the property as a result of building deficiencies and deferred maintenance. Keystone Holdings LLC has presented an application to the village for a substantial redevelopment. They plan to purchase for value and plan to use the property for restoration services. And that's all I have, Mayor.
All right, thank you. Next, we have the Planning and Zoning and Licenses Report. Trustee Juarez.
I have an approval of a list of license dated January 11, 2022 through January 28, 2022. And I have an approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip granting a special use permit authorizing a truck and equipment storage yard for a portion of the property located at 5959 West 115th Street, Alsip, Illinois. That's all, Mayor.
Very good. Did anyone have any petitions, presentations, or communications? None? Did anyone wish to remove anything from the consent agenda?
I would like to remove letter N, Mayor.
N?
N is in Nancy, yes.
Nancy? All right. All right. Anybody else?
Letter O?
Yeah, we're pulling letter O until further notice.
Oh, yeah.
We're not sure when that's going to be ready.
Exactly, okay.
Can I get a motion then to establish the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, roll call number 1 to establish consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Nava Esparza.
Yes.
Trustee Peretta.
Yes.
Motion carries to establish consent agenda.
Thank you. Can I get a motion and a second then, please, to approve the consent agenda as presented?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, before we take roll call, item F as in Frank. Excuse me. Approval of a resolution approving the declaration and disbursement of surplus monies in the tax increment financing TIF District Number 1 will now be known as Resolution 2022-02-R-1. And letter G, approval of a resolution designating certain officers as principals, signers, and traders for the Illinois funds accounts held by the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois, will now be known as Resolution 2022-02-R-2. Item P as in Paul, approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip approving Class 6B assessment status for the real estate located at 5859 West 117th Place, PIN numbers 24-20-404-003-0000 and 24-20-404-004-0000 in the Village of Alsip, Cook County, Illinois, will now be known as Ordinance 2022-02-1. And item R as in Robert, approval of an ordinance of the Village of Alsip granting a special use permit authorizing a truck and equipment storage yard for a portion of the property located at 5959 West 115th Street, Alsip, Illinois, will now be known as Ordinance 2022-02-2. Roll call number 2 to approve consent agenda. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
Yes.
Trustee McLaughlin.
Yes.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Navas-Sparza.
Yes.
Trustee Peretta.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve consent agenda.
All right, thank you. We'll go back to one item that was removed, letter N. This is the approval of Total Automation Concepts, our present building automation system that controls the HVAC systems. It is proposed to upgrade to a 5-year contract covering all village assets. That was removed by Trustee McLaughlin. Before we make any discussion on this, did I have a motion and a second to approve this?
I'd make the motion.
Was there a second to that?
I'll second that.
Trustee McLaughlin, did you have a question?
Well, a couple of things that I wanted to bring up and then possibly have some discussion. First off, we did get confirmation that there is only $18,000 total in the budget this year, and this total motion is valued at approximately $100,000. So there is definitely a budget gap that we need to consider. Commissioner Early has indicated we could potentially put off the equipment piece until the next fiscal year, but the question is, would we actually want to approve a 5-year contract covering service at this point in time when we haven't approved the equipment yet? So again, just wanted to bring this up for further discussion, because like I said, we didn't have confirmation on the budget figure last week.
The equipment was $48,000, correct?
Yeah, and it's another 50-something thousand for the service contract.
But that's
so.
over the next 5 years.
But we'd be approving the whole 50 tonight, I mean.
So we're prepaying for 5 years?
We would be paying on a monthly basis, other than the first upfront year, and into the fiscal year 2023, we would, Total Automated Concepts would defer it until after the 1st of May, as it's going to take them 2 months to get the parts. So it fits right into that timeline for the $48,000, $275.
Roger, you're saying implementation, when are we going to start this work, after May?
They would start doing the front-end work on the upgrades, except for what they have to, the components that they have to go into the units. They are looking at a 2-month timeline to get it, the components, but they'll start working on it shortly, and then once they get the components, they'll put it in probably April, May, in that area, and a completion mid-May, somewhere in that time frame.
Just as I made a good point as well, too, like as far as, I understand you got $48,000 worth of, excuse me, equipment upgrades, but when it comes to even like a service contract that, over the course of 5 years. Are we paying all that up front, or that, you know?
No, that would be a monthly fee that we would pay. We could do it monthly, or we could do it quarterly
Okay.
over the 5 years.
No, it's fair. Yeah, I'd like the quarterly thing myself, but yeah, okay.
It's less approval of invoices, but...
Yeah. Okay, anybody else have a question on this?
But the other big part of it as well is cost benefit.
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, I meant to go back to that, yeah. Do we have the monies, well, this is going to be the next, well, we haven't approved our next fiscal year budget yet. though,
Typically,
so-
I've put it in last year's budget, and I've also put it in this year's budget. What I would end up doing is, basically, the $11,000 is budget for it over the next 5 years, and then also the $48,275 I would budget for in the '23 budget.
Okay, so in other words, you're covered for it right now, then?
Correct. I
Gotcha.
would be covered this year, because there's $18,000 in this year's budget.
Okay,
Budget has to be, would have to be approved for that total dollar amount.
right. Okay,
But moving forward, each year, we would have to have that, it's like $11,216.
right, I understand, yeah, no problem. Trustee, oh,
All right. Yeah, as I say, I mean, one question I would have potentially on this, I mean, since we're talking about controlling the thermostats here, are there any grant opportunities, whether it be from ComEd and/or NICOR or anybody else, to help fund something like this? Otherwise, what are the real benefits of controlling the thermostats? I mean,
well, it's more so than just, I learned too, I was simplifying it last week, but there's more here than just controlling the thermostats. It's also understanding our equipment. Is our equipment running properly? Is preventive
Running
maintenance
efficient.
and whatnot yet, though, too? Yes, I apologize last week if I simplified it to just thermostats, but I understand also that there's more to managing the components and the equipment is what these things are doing then, too. right?
Correct.
Okay. And going back to what you're saying about grants and whatnot, I do know that, and I'm not sure, Will, if you guys chase that all too? I know you're more engineering, but, yeah, but I do know with the ComEd, they promote like more new greenscape projects and so forth, but not necessarily with what we're doing here, with just managing our HVAC systems. Is there, Roger, though, I don't want to simplify that
Under
either.
DECO, they would cover some of the upgrades to a residential home. They will do pumps, but not to this extent, no. Not that I'm aware of, and I typically look into it once a year.
Okay. Superintendent Frederick, can I defer to you? Have you seen anything on your side in Public Works with any of this yet, too?
Not with regards to that.
Okay. Okay. And then, I'm sorry, sir, and are you with TAC as well? Is there any other grants that you can share with us right now?
We have done work with different school districts and large businesses as far as like setbacks and if they have drives on pumps, things that are cost effective or energy saving. I know there have been some, I don't know how it would apply to the village.
Okay. Well, we don't necessarily need it this evening, but I will certainly, Trustee McLaurin, I'll look into it tomorrow for you right away, and I'll see if there's anything else we can apply to it. But, you know, again, this is a kind of a 50-50. Half of this is equipment upgrades, the other half is a maintenance contract, so...
Maintenance contract.
Yeah, so we really can't just focus on the whole number, because we're focusing on half of that, really.
You know, one thing that I did, and I apologize I wasn't here last week, but one thing I was looking at, and it said items not included in the above price bonds, permits, inspection, overtime, and premium labor. Do we have any estimate as to what that will be, that 48,000 would be inflated to with labor?
They're going to do it all on Monday through Friday hours. I don't see them coming in doing it. I'm not going to approve it.
Okay.
So that number would stay at the $48,275.
Okay.
That's a contracted number.
That's a contractual number.
Right.
They would have to send me a piece of paper to sign, and I'm not going to authorize a Saturday or Sunday work or after-hours work. They're going to do a lot of it Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 3 o'clock, which I've got people here
Sure.
to address that.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, same. And my only other comment, I mean, since we are removing all existing controllers, I mean, I'm just of the opinion that at the dollar amount, we should potentially look to see if there are any other options.
They're not pulling everything out. It's everything at Fire Station 1. They are
Well, no,
going to
I mean,
utilize some.
The quote says removal and demolition of existing obsolete supervisory controllers at each building. So,
That's the computers.
but, I mean, that's basically what this whole thing.
Right.
So, that's all I have.
All right. Nobody else has any questions? Can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Okay, roll call number 3, excuse me, to approve item N, as in Nancy, approval of a Total Automation Concepts, TAC, our present building automation system that controls the HVAC systems. It's proposed to upgrade to a 5-year contract covering all village assets. Trustee Dalzell.
Yes.
Trustee Juarez.
No.
Trustee McGlohorn.
No.
Trustee Murphy.
Yes.
Trustee Navas Barza.
Yes.
Trustee Peretta.
Yes.
Motion carries to approve item N.
Very good. Thank you.
Thank you, Board.
Did anyone have any unfinished business? How about any new business? None? Can I get a motion then to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Then we'll adjourn this meeting at 8:10 PM. And as always, thank you for joining us this evening, folks, and enjoy the rest of your night.